Hey friends, it's Mrs. Hillig coming to you here from my house, here at the Hillig House, and I've got your next reading mini lesson. I hope that you enjoyed yesterday's reading mini lesson when we talked all about using just right feeling words to describe how characters in your books are feeling, instead of just saying, yeah, I think they're happy or sad, or maybe mad. Really thinking, I don't know, what's a just right word that I can use to describe that, how they're feeling? Are they proud? And then maybe later in the story, they become disappointed. Maybe something happens and they feel really annoyed. So I want you to, as you're reading today and every day, to make sure that you're thinking about those just right feeling words. Well, today, friends, I'm going to share with you a little bit. We're going to talk about how avid readers reflect and they set goals for themselves. So you remember how we talk about kryptonite words? Kryptonite words are those multisyllabic words that have more than one beat in them for grown-ups who are also listening in with us. Words like kindergarten, kryptonite. And we know that we have to be aware of those kryptonite words, and we read more and more of them in our challenging books because those can really mix up our pointer power. We want to make sure that our voice is really matching the words that we're pointing at, and that we can use our snap words to really kind of like center us back and realize, ooh, I think I might have got tricked. But readers also need to be thinking about their superpowers. And I have shared with each one of you on Seesaw our superpowers chart. So I want to show you how I got here. If you go into activities, which I think we're all getting really good at, and then it'll show you we've got a couple things here ready for you for Friday. But if you look at the super reader cards, if I just tap on that image, it's going to do something really cool. It's going to pop up our super readers chart. That was my learning of today, is that Mrs. Hillig is able to create something and I can make it on my computer and then I can share it out with all of my friends through Seesaw. That was kind of new for me. So we're all learning at the same time. I'm going to use this chart and I'm going to think about those superpowers that we know all about. Pointer power, reread power, partner power, picture power, snapword power, sound power, persistence power, book talk power, and of course, pattern power. So, friends, I want you to think, just like those kryptonite words can make us a little bit tricked in our reading as we're reading so much, same kind of thing can kind of happen with our superpowers, where all of a sudden we're so used to using one or two of our superpowers that we don't realize that there's some more that we can be using to get us out of sticky reading situations. Of course, as we're reading more challenging books, every day you're doing such a great job, we are expecting that we're going to bump into tricky parts. And if I'm really using my pointer power all the time, and maybe I'm using pattern power, but I'm not using any of the other ones, I might get really tricked. So today, friends, I want to teach you that as avid readers, it's important to know which superpowers that you've mastered, that they are your go-to superpowers that you use all the time to get out of those tricky situations. And then also which are the ones that maybe you haven't mastered yet. Maybe you're not feeling really confident with those. And also which ones that you're like, you know what? I never use those. I know about them. This is a great reminder, but I'm noticing that I don't really use them very often. That's going to kind of get you out of those kryptonite situations where you get a little bit stuck. So I wanted to share with you a book that I shared a little bit with you yesterday when we were talking about our just right feeling words. This is the story, Three Little Pigs. And I'm going to do a little bit of reading the first couple pages, but as I'm reading, I want my brain to think about, and I want you to notice what superpowers, reading superpowers, I should say, are the ones that you notice that I'm doing. Also notice as my coach on the bench, not in the parking lot, not on the ice, but my coach on the bench, when you see me get stuck, what are those superpowers that you might notice that I'm not using on my own that maybe you are noticing might help me out? Okay. Three Little Pigs. The first little pig Built a house of straw. The second little pig built doesn't really make sense. Built a house of sticks. The third little pig built. That doesn't make sense. The third little pig built a house of bricks. I think that word is built. Along came the wolf. He huffed and he puffed and he blew down the house of The little pig ran to the house of All right, friends, I'm going to stop right there. I want you to think in your head, which of those superpowers that we know about was Mrs. Hillig using all the time? I want you to give me a thumbs up when you can think about that. What was I using all the time? I think you're right. If you said I was using my pointer power, silent cheer, I think I was using my pointer power too. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to come over and I'm thinking about my seesaw job. The direction is type your name, put check marks next to the powers that you use sometimes. Circle the powers that you hardly ever use and need to practice. And put a heart emoji by the superpowers you use all the time. Don't forget to push the green check mark when you're done. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to find Mrs. Hillig. Whoop, there I am right there. And that's going to bring up my superpowers. So I'm going to wait. Sometimes we have to wait. We know that. It's thinking. Do you see the thinking bubble right there? Okay, but it's bringing it up. There it is. So I'm going to notice that I think I was doing pointer power like all the time. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to get my typing tool and I'm going to bring it down over here and I'm going to put a heart emoji. I want to kind of just show you how I did that though. So I'm going to go into T for typing. It brings up my keyboard. I'm going to go into the emojis right here, and you're really good at doing this from the compound word activity the other day. I'm going to put a heart, okay? Then I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to put that right over here. And I'm going to see if I can even shrink this a little bit. I don't need that box to be quite so large. But I'm going to put my heart right there by pointer power, okay? Because I use that one all the time. Then I'm going to put let's see, what else did I do? I think I did a pretty good job getting my mouth ready. But you know what I didn't do now that I'm thinking about it? There were some words that now that I'm looking back that I got my mouth ready, but I wasn't noticing something. I wonder if you noticed what I missed. When we use sound power, we need to look for parts we know, right? I see an STR. Can you make that sound, friend? Stir. You're right. It's a consonant blend. When I'm getting my mouth ready and I'm using my sound power, do you know what I need to do? I need to look for parts I know. So you know what? I'm going to give that one kind of like a like I use it sometimes. I think that was a check mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here into the marker tool, and by sound power, just going to kind of put like a check mark. You know what? I'm going to do it in a different color so my friends at home can see it a little bit better. Do you see it? That's one I really need to think about a little bit more. Snap word power. I think I did a really good job. I don't think I got tricked by any snap words. So I'm going to go up. I'm going to put a heart there again. I think I really did a nice job with that. And then I'm going to put a heart by snap words. So what's the next one? Rereading. I don't really know that I did that one very much. I don't remember that I did. So I think what the direction said is on those, I need to circle the ones that I need to think about using a little bit more. What did you say? Did you say that you noticed I didn't use the picture very much? I think you're right. I think if I would have used picture power a little bit more, I think that some of those sticky parts wouldn't have been so tricky. So I'm going to circle that one. Mrs. Hillig, before you start reading, you need to look at the picture. So friends, I'm going to go through and I'm going to either decide, do I know the powers really, really well? Like I use them all the time, almost every time? Are they ones that sometimes I use them? Or are they ones that I need to really remind myself of? One that I'm thinking about is that reread power. Did you notice how in some of the parts, I kind of tried the word and I got my mouth ready. I said the sounds, but then I just left it. That's called abandoning a word. We never want to leave a word behind. We always want to, even if we skip it and go down to the next line, we always want to jump back and we want to figure out what that word was. We never want to abandon it. We always want to go back and see, maybe it didn't sound right, maybe it didn't look right, maybe it didn't make sense, but we never want to leave a word behind. So readers, today, what your job is you're going to listen to this. You're going to get to your reading spot. You're going to get your reading mat out, just like we always do at school. We're going to get your 5 books, put them in order from easy to just right to those more challenging books. And again, at school, we sometimes use our star books and lookbooks for those more challenging books because no book is off limits to us, is it, friends? We are so lucky to be surrounded by so many books at home and at school. But then, and get your Post-its and your pencil out, of course. But as you're reading today, I want you to really be aware of which ones of your superpowers, your reading superpowers, you are using all the time, sometimes, or not at all. We need to really ramp the strength up on those. Then once you do this job on Seesaw, of course, we can use that microphone tool. One of my favorite parts of the whole day is hearing my kindergartners' voices as you're explaining your Seesaw activities. If you are able to verbalize and tell me a little bit about what you're thinking, I would love to hear your voice. And then, of course, when you're done, don't forget to submit your work to me, okay? All right, readers, we've got an exciting job. We're going into spring break. Certainly, we don't want you to not be reading, but there won't be, we won't be Facebook Living like we usually do. We won't be having daily lessons. But reading is something that avid readers do every day on their own as it is. So certainly, I want you thinking about these superpowers as you go for the next week without us having fun at your houses, okay? All right, if you have any questions, hopefully everybody's able to log in with the new directions we shared on Thursday to Seesaw. And it'll be a great day of reading. All right, my friends, miss you. Talk to you soon. Bye.